In this channel's video on Canada's defense pivot some time ago, this channel made a specific prediction. The prediction was that Canada would reduce its order of 88 American-made F-35 stealth fighters to somewhere between 60 and 70 and redirect that freed budget towards Swedish-made Saab Gripen fighters optimized for Arctic operations. Well, La Presse reported that the Carney government is moving towards a mixed fleet of approximately 30 F-35s and 60 Gripens. This channel predicted a cut. The actual cut is twice as deep. Canada is not trimming the American order. Canada is replacing 2/3 of it with Swedish fighter jets that Saab has offered to build in Montreal. My name is Elle, and I use data analysis to spot patterns in geopolitics and economics, and I'm going to be honest in this one, it feels good to get one right. But the reason this channel got it right is not because of some secret source, it's because the pattern has been screaming for months, and the only people who could not hear it were the ones who assumed American deference dominance was permanent. Well, it doesn't appear to be permanent, it appears to be ending, and the data told you exactly when. Give this video a like, my friends, subscribe if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, and let's dive in. If you've been following this channel's playlist on European and Canadian decoupling from the United States, you already watched the dominoes fall. First, Canada chose Saab's global eye over Boeing's Wedgetail for its $5 billion airborne surveillance program, an aircraft built on a Canadian Bombardier airframe with Swedish sensors and 0 American components. Then Germany and Norway offered Canada 12 Type 212CD submarines worth $60 billion, with both countries giving up their own production slots so Canada could receive boats faster. Then Sweden's Prime Minister went on Canadian national television and invited Canada to join the EU, and now the fighter jets. The pattern is not subtle at all. It is a straight line drawn in ink with a Swedish flag at the end of it. So here's what is actually happening with the F-35s. Canada signed a contract back in 2023 to buy 88 F-35A Lightning II stealth fighters from Lockheed Martin. But here's the detail that changes everything. Ottawa is legally committed to only the first 16 aircraft. The remaining 72 jets were never covered by a signed production contract. That is not how the public understood the deal. Most Canadians assumed all 88 were locked in. Well, they're not. Payments made in 2026 for long lead components on 14 additional jets preserve production slots but do not constitute a binding commitment. The legal room to pivot has been there the entire time. Carney just needed the political will to use it. The trade war with the United States gave him exactly that. The Gripen offer is designed to be impossible to refuse. Under Saab's Built for Canada by Canadians campaign, the company has offered full technology transfer, domestic final assembly in Montreal, sovereign maintenance capabilities, Canadian software development, and the creation of a Canadian research and development center for future upgrades and export production. Saab projects between 6,000 and 12,600 Canadian jobs over the life of the program. The Gripen E costs roughly $7,000 to $10,000 per flight hour, compared to $30,000 to $40,000 for the F-35. It can operate from road strips as short as 800 meters with a turnaround time as 10 minutes and a ground crew small enough to fit in a single vehicle. It was designed during the Cold War to survive exactly the scenario Canada faces in the Arctic, which is dispersed operations from austere bases where there is no permanent infrastructure and no American logistics chain to lean on. Its electronic warfare suite was built specifically to counter advanced Russian air defense networks operating in the Arctic region. The F-35 is stealthier, the Gripen is cheaper, more self-sufficient, and comes with something the F-35 never will, which is a sovereign Canadian control over software, upgrades, and maintenance with no American kill switch in the supply chain. Just compare that to what Lockheed Martin is offering. The F-35 program supports approximately 4,500 Canadian jobs and is projected to generate about $15.5 billion in industrial participation through 2058. These are real numbers, but the participation is within a global supply chain controlled from Fort Worth, Texas. Canada builds components, but it does not build the aircraft. It does not control the software. It does not own the maintenance ecosystem. Saab is offering Canada the aircraft itself. If you're trying to understand how to read the difference between a procurement decision and a geopolitical realignment, my book, Awake, the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Soft Lies, is available as an ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off, and you can grab the first chapter for free in the description links below. But the part of this story that genuinely stunned me is the Ukraine angle. At CanSec last week, Saab representatives outlined a proposal under which Canadian facilities would not just build Gripens for the Royal Canadian Air Force, but they would serve as the primary manufacturing hub for future Gripen deliveries to Ukraine, potentially 100 to 150 aircraft. Sweden has already disclosed plans to sell up to 20 Gripen EFs to Ukraine alongside a separate transfer of 16 older Gripen CDs. A Canadian assembly line would turn a national defense procurement into an ongoing airspace manufacturing operation capable of generating employment, sustaining supply chains, and supporting exports for decades to come. That is the same model Saab built in Brazil, by the way, where domestic Gripen production delivered its first locally assembled aircraft in March 2026, so just a few months ago. Canada would not just be buying fighter jets, Canada would be becoming a European defense exporter. And then there is the detail that tells you where the next decade goes. Defense Minister David McGuinty confirmed that Canada is exploring entry as an observer into GCAP, which is the Global Combat Air Program, the sixth-generation fighter jet being developed by the United Kingdom, Japan, and Italy, potentially joining in July. That means Canada is not just diversifying away from American fighters for this generation. Canada is positioning itself to bypass the United States entirely for the next one. Just put it all together. In the span of 1 month, Canada chose a Swedish surveillance aircraft over Boeing, entered negotiations for European submarines over anything American, and is now replacing 60 American fighter jets with Swedish ones built in Montreal. The official announcement is expected after the US midterm elections in November. It's delayed not because the decision is uncertain, but because Ottawa does not want to hand Washington a political provocation during an election cycle. That level of diplomatic calculation tells you the decision is already made. They're managing the timing, not the outcome. So here's where all of this goes, in my opinion. Canada will formally announce the mixed fleet before the end of 2026. The first Canadian assembled Gripen will roll off the Montreal production line by 2031. The Ukraine export pipeline will generate the first international order within 18 months maybe of Canadian production starting. And Lockheed Martin, which assumed for 20 years that the F-35 was the only game in town for Allied air forces, will likely discover that the most dangerous competitor was never China or Russia. It was a Swedish company that showed up in Montreal and basically said, "We will teach you how to build it yourself." Sovereign ownership, the same two words in every sector, on every continent, in every story this channel covers. The pattern does not whisper, it screams. But if Canada is buying Swedish jets, Swedish surveillance aircraft, and European submarines, while Europe builds its own nuclear umbrella, its own payment system, its own cloud, and its own office software, what is left of the American-led order? I made a video asking exactly that question. That's the one that I would watch next. Thanks so much for watching this one. Subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.